Welcome to Unleash with FTEM. How are you doing today?
All good, all good.
Great. So, Srijan, could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
So yeah, my name is Srijan Sharma and I am the founder of ItsHemp. So ItsHemp is an online platform that essentially is working towards helping India adopt a cannabis-focused healthy lifestyle. So that is what we're doing right now.
Great. And you're collaborating with a lot of brands, I see.
Yeah, so we have over 100 brands with around over 2,000 products right now on the platform.
Amazing. Amazing. So, how was this idea born, Srijan? We would like to know the inception, the story behind it.
So basically, I am from this small hill state of Himachal Pradesh, and there is a lot of cannabis that is abundantly available as a natural resource in this area. Uh, so that is one of the prime reasons that I wanted to use that resource in such a manner that we are able to create jobs at ground level, and
Okay.
along with that, cannabis as an industry is growing rapidly in the West as well, and a lot of Western companies wanted to enter the Indian markets, and that is where I
Right.
got exposed to the idea of how we can actually build businesses in India, which can support both local organizations as well as bring in brands from all over the world into India for quality products.
Absolutely. All right. Were there any challenges that you faced during, the inception of this one? Yeah.
Definitely, I mean it's a cannabis
Yeah.
business, right? It's full of challenges. So, I mean, starting from just getting payment gateways to understand what your business model is, telling people that okay, the products that you are actually purchasing from us are completely legal and you don't have to worry about getting caught the next day. And it's not a drug that we are selling. We're selling a variety of healthy products and sustainable products that you can use in your day-to-day life. It's a commodity product, not something that will get you high.
Mm.
So, and along with that, we also get a lot of queries from people who are looking for medicines. So, just segregate those and connect them with the right doctors is going to be is always a big task.
Yeah.
But when you start primarily, it is trying to, so whatever partners you're going to onboard for payment processing, banks you're going to work with, people that you're going to hire, all of those will be big tasks whenever you're starting up with the cannabis business. At least for the next couple of years, it is going to be like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is always this notion that they tend to confuse cannabis with hemp with cannabis. What is the difference? Is there any difference? We'd like to
So,
know.
broadly speaking, everything is cannabis.
Okay.
But so the hemp essentially is a type of cannabis plant which naturally produces less than 0.3% THC. That 0.3% THC is a guideline set by Europe and US.
Mhm.
So it's not a gold standard, so to say. But it's in general nomenclature, we say that this is how it is that okay, hemp is a plant which naturally does not produce a lot of THC, and everything is cannabis eventually. So hemp is also cannabis, just a separate section which does not produce a lot of THC.
Okay. Okay.
THC is the compound that will get you high.
Okay. Okay. What are some of the benefits that you'd like to share with the audiences, and of course, send out a note to people that uh, washes their misconceptions away.
Right. So see, cannabis. I think the one thing that I would want everyone in India at least to know is that cannabis is a great medicine. I mean, with 200 million chronic pain patients and 400 million menstruating women in the country, cannabis is like a natural remedy for a lot of pain-related issues, and that is something that we are actively working towards to provide all of these people access to natural medication, which is made using cannabis to help alleviate a lot of that pain. It is also a mood enhancer. So, like every 1 in 5 people in India are depressed is a shocking and a very depressing, you know, fact that we have come across in terms of when you do your research on Indian audiences. And cannabis is a product that helps elevate your mood.
Hmm.
Right? So when you take the medicines out of it, the cannabis plant, the seed of the plant is a healthy alternative to a lot of food that you're eating. So it's a superfood. It gives you a lot of omega 3, omega 6, your protein nutrient. So a handful of hemp seeds will eventually give you the nutrition that you would require throughout the day.
Hmm.
Similarly, when you remove This also is okay. The food is one part and medicine is the other bit.
Hmm.
The remaining plant, what do you do with it? So interestingly, all of that is also being used. So the stalk of the plant, the outer part of that stalk is used to make very, very strong fibers that can be used in your day-to-day clothing, as well as to make like
Yeah.
uh, bulletproof glass for cars, that is being used. uh, the inner hard stock is being used to make hempcrete, which is an alternative sustainable heat proof raw material for construction. So, like effectively, the entire plant is being used in a very sustainable fashion. And practically does everything that you would want in it. Like roti, kapda, makan, and medicine, all included in one thing.
I believe pets too. Like, do they have calming properties for pets?
Yes, they do. They do.
Okay.
So see, both your so all mammals in general have this thing called an endocannabinoid system in the body.
Okay.
So this is your body generating similar compounds that are already prevalent in a lot of food items like oranges, mangoes, and a lot of it is in cannabis. So that system exists in all mammals. So irrespective of which mammal you are giving cannabis to, it will have some impact on that.
Nice. All right. So when you started out, the kind of segments that you were targeting, did you find any issues, sort of reaching out to people, or how did you sort of convince people for this kind of, these kind of products?
So see, it was not about convincing people at all. I mean, if a product is made of hemp, it already has a very unique USP, right? There are always people who are interested to understand, oh, how did you do that? I would like to try some of that. The point was, how do you create a space where they can be without inhibitions and free of those inhibitions, they can actually understand and adopt those products. So that is when we started saying, and this has been our core focus ever since, that whenever a person is on our platform, he should feel such so at home that okay, this is a place where I'll be able to understand whatever I would want to understand about this product. This is also a place where which will help me adopt this product, will give me guidelines and ideas on how I can use that product. And in addition to that, we also hosted a lot of nationwide campaigns in house. Like we hosted a Secret Santa campaign, we hosted a Valentine's Day campaign, in which you were able to gift these people products to your loved ones. So gifting is also something that helps very with a very, very quick adoption of things, right? So that those are the things that we do. Like we're not so hemp does not enjoy regular marketing in India or anywhere right now.
Right.
So you cannot use regular marketing channels. So you have to be very smart and innovative with whatever you're doing. So
Nice.
effectively, we come up with campaigns that are going to engage a lot more people, so that they get touched or introduced to the idea of hemp as a sustainable, healthy alternative to whatever they're using. I mean, anything in your room can practically made from hemp.
Yeah.
So, if we are able to just touch them with one chota sa product for one problem that they're trying to solve, then that is also a big change there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was going through your website. I saw that there was a robust team out there. So many people came together and formed this platform. So, would you
Right.
like to talk about your stakeholders as well? Yeah.
So as of now, I own a majority stake in the company, and most of the other people have joined in afterwards. But yeah, eventually, as of now, there are about 7 people who are actively working towards building the platform as well as building this company. And we've had support from like hundreds of people around the country. So there have been volunteers that have worked with us. There have been freelancers who have worked with us, and my team right now handles the entire operations and logistics for a lot of brands across the country. We make sure that okay, we're building this as an industry and not as just one platform.
Mhm.
So when you eventually come to ItsHemp, you're going to look at the work of loads and loads of people culminating into a single space,
Right.
and effectively you'll be see, completely introduced to what the Indian hemp industry is doing right now.
Nice. What would be your some of your short term and long term goals, if I could ask you? Yeah.
So, I think in short term, goals generally are towards developing better technology and improving access to products and reducing the time in which we can deliver those products to people. And in the long term, it is more of a holistic goal where we are able to develop a lot of ground level opportunities.
Okay.
So we would want to work with farmers in Himachal to start with, and then across the country. We'd want to create a proper ecosystem where we can actually go from seed to final product very very quickly, and eventually get all. So the entire industry has a lot of benefits attached to it, right? It is good for the environment. It is good for you, but all of those should trickle down at every stage of the value chain, and that is what we are trying to build at the end of the day. We create a value chain which actually helps every single person in it. So starting from the farmer to the person who's going to process it, to the brand who's going to take that raw material, the manufacturer who's going to process that raw material into it, and eventually bring it out into the market for everyone, and culminating at where we are at the apex where products are being traded or like, effectively sold to customers.
Nice. And there are a lot of people out there who are, aspiring to be entrepreneurs like yourself.
Definitely.
Is there any piece of advice that you'd like to give out to those kind of people who are inhibited to start something like this, non-conventional? You know?
So see, I think at the very core, a lot of people would want to be entrepreneurs, right? And entrepreneurs, so we have kind of glamorized this entire idea of entrepreneurship because of, let's say, epic level of capitalism that exists in the world.
Absolutely.
But eventually, I think what you should be doing is believing in, okay, if this is something that you would genuinely want to work with, if your work or your idea is something that keeps getting you excited over and over, the more you think about it, the more excited you are about it. So that is when you've kind of figured out that okay, this is something that will keep you hooked on for a lot of long time. Like a problem with people like me is that we kind of hop on from one idea to the next because everything is so exciting. So sticking to that idea would mean that okay, there is a lot of value in the idea that you're going to pursue. And even if it is not easy in the very beginning, it is not going to be easy ever in the very beginning or after that as well. It keeps getting difficult. It's just that tend to try and solve better problems every day. So you move on from a problem that is very difficult to solve to a problem that is interesting to solve, then to a problem that will be fun to solve. So that should be a trajectory for anyone who's trying to build a new business or enter any space. And like the first 4 years of any entrepreneur's journey are going to be practically the same. If you're a first time entrepreneur, you don't have a lot of capital to work with, then the first 4 years are going to be same. The first year will be about understanding a product. The second year will be about scaling it to be at least somewhat sustainable. Third year will be about growth. The fourth year will be about expanding it to everywhere that you possibly can. And if you don't follow the trajectory, you'll eventually fall out, and then you'll be a statistic that one in every four startups only make it to whatever after 4 years or something, whatever that is.
That's some amazing wisdom. Comes with experience, I see. So before entering into this,
Yes.
what were you up to, Srijan?
So
Or
I before
should
this
I
I was
come
a marketing consultant before I started ItsHemp. I've also been very active in organizing events across the country. A very active member of TEDx. I'm a very active member of World Economic Forum. And I've been working with, so before ItsHemp, I worked with about 40 odd brands to help them actualize their ideas and, kind of fast forward their trajectory to the market, irrespective of what the product is. So I've worked with companies who are selling chimneys and UV purifiers to companies who are selling charter airplanes as well. So there's a whole spectrum of products and services that I've worked with before I entered this space. And in coincidentally, I wanted to work in a lot of different spaces. So hemp kind of is an umbrella for me. I don't call it an industry, I call it a raw material. So it touches so many different industries that you have absolutely no limits on what you would want to do with it. You can create electronic cells from it which are sustainable. So graphene extracted from the carbon that is made from hemp is supposedly a very good conductor for electricity. So you can go, so I can be a very very nerdy person. I can also be a very very holistic person who is selling hemp clothing because it's sustainable and will save plants. It's also a great place to make hemp paper products. So paper, automobile, clothing, fashion, medicine, you name an industry and you can possibly integrate hemp into it.
Lovely,
So
lovely.
it's more of an
Versatile.
umbrella industry which has a lot of different segments in it. So it always keeps you excited. So even if you're hopping from one idea to the next, eventually you're still working with a single core product, and that is what I like about it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Srijan, for joining us today. We've got a lot of information from you, and we're going to definitely share it with, of course, with our audiences. And this is going to make us all wise and understand what hemp is all about.
So there's one thing that I would say. I always end my sessions with everyone on this, that please go
Yes,
and buy products from ItsHemp. It's really helpful.
absolutely, absolutely. So
So
yes, thank you.
whoever is going to view this, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so much. Lovely
you.
connecting with you. Bye bye.